back to Hawk Talk. We're in the baseball locker room with Coach Watson. Coach, taking 9 of the last 12, I believe. What's kind of been the biggest difference maker in finding success, getting those wins, heading into the conference tournament?
Well, we've played more consistent baseball, offensively, defensively, and on the mound. And with doing that, you give yourself, better opportunity to win ball games, and consistently we've been playing better. Is there room for improvement? Absolutely. With a big conference tournament like this coming up, with an at-large a bid for the big tournament, the national tournament, it's a huge weekend for us, and if we can continue to play good ball and play good defense and pitch and hit, we're gonna have we're gonna give ourselves a shot.
We had an interesting dynamic where prior to talking to you last time, we had a couple different home series coming up that turned into a road series. Talk about the difficulty and mentally preparing for a home game, and then it ended up on a 7-hour road trip.
Well, in North Dakota, you never know what the weather's going to do. I think probably the nicest weather that we've had all season was that first weekend in March, which obviously doesn't happen all the time. Being able to change your mindset. We were out that day rolling snowballs on the field, trying to clear the field, and realized that we weren't going to be able to play. So the guys had to refocus. Hey, bus is going to be here in 4 hours. Get your stuff, get ready to go. And traveled, got in about midnight, about an hour an hour north of Madison. Drove the next hour in the morning. Played for roughly 8 hours. Hopped on the bus. Another 8-hour trip back. So it was a quick trip, I guess. But we came away with 2 out of 3, and which is tough to do. Dakota State's a very good ball club, and obviously if you've seen the standings, they're the 3 seed. But I think that kind of helped us move forward in with the Winnipeg series, and then also carried over into the Valley series last weekend.
Now I know in one of those games, actually I think 2, overcame pretty large deficits. And that repeated itself this last weekend, trailing 5 or 6-0 to Valley. Talk about kind of the resilient aspect of this year's ball club.
Well, as a coach, you don't like to put yourself in that situation, but credit the guys. I think we're down 5-0 and 8-0 after 1 inning against Dakota State, and fought back, won both of those games, and then last weekend, that 3rd game at Valley, we're down 6 runs after 4 innings, I believe. Found a way to chip away, came back, pulled that one out, and then took the final game. These guys, and I tell them all the time, we know we can fight back. You guys have shown it all year. Let's just get on top for once and kind of see what happens.
Give you a break.
Yeah, obviously make my life a lot easier, less stressful. But these guys, they fight, and I can't give them enough credit for that. They're not the team that's gonna, we're down, we're just gonna give up. They're gonna keep fighting, and from a coaching standpoint, that's great. That's what you want to see. And like I said, they've showed that quite a few times this year.
Now take us through the conference tournament through our perspective. It's available online for you guys to check out in more detail, because it is a little bit confusing, but kind of take us through Dickinson's path.
Well, we are the 4 seed. We play Waldorf. That's a 5 seed. On our side of the bracket, there's Bellevue and Valley City, and us 4 for the first 2 days we'll play in Valley City. The final 4, I guess you could call it, Sunday and Monday's games are all in Jamestown. So the other side of the bracket, they will play in Jamestown the first 2 days. So it's we just gotta show up and play.
Sure.
If we play as close to a complete game, it's gonna give us a good shot to win. And at this time, tournament time, everybody's 0-0, and the object is to win 4 games before you lose 2. And there's nothing you can really do. There's nothing really prepare. Obviously, our situation is a little bit different since we haven't seen Waldorf. Very good ball club, and so scouting wise, it's going to take some work as us coaches to prepare our guys to face them. But Bellevue and Valley, the other two teams we've played them. Very good clubs, and very well coached. So it's just whatever in tournament time. It's whatever team makes the least amount of mistakes, and what team takes advantage of the other team's mistakes. So anything can happen, and we just got to go up and play some pretty good baseball, and we'll see what happens.
Now, will streaming be available? I know it was last series. Are you sure on that as far as will it follow along?
I know that there is I believe it's out of Fargo. They do a lot of the Valley games. They are going to be doing the Sunday and Monday games for sure in Jamestown. I would say that Valley probably would be putting on our bracket via their Stretch Internet, which would be linked up to ours. I'm not sure. I haven't quite talked with their SID yet, but more than likely it will be available to watch. So if you can't make it, cheer us on from home.
Alrighty. Well, best of luck this
All right,
weekend,
thank
Coach.
you.
Thank you. We're back on Hawk Talk, joined by one of our baseball players. Want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
I'm Segun Osborne. I'm a junior on the baseball team.
All right. What position are you playing?
Lately I've been playing second base, but I've also played shortstop and third this year, so I guess just an infielder.
Sure. Now, obviously we got a big weekend coming up with the conference tournament, but before we get into that, kind of take us through the last couple of weeks. I know the team's really been playing a lot better these last couple of weeks, and starting all the way back to that Dakota State series when it got moved from a home series to a road series. What was that like, and going down there and getting 2-3 there?
Yeah, it was nice. I mean, it's always tough. We actually had both our crossover series turn into triple headers on the road, and it turned out to be the top two teams in the South.
Sure.
So I think winning 2 or 3 in that day was good for us, and it really turned our season around. I think we've won something like 8 or 9 of our last 12 or 13 or something like that, and it's definitely been an up and down season. At 25 and 25, I guess that's about as up and down as you can be.
Now then, you got that. Finally, did get to play at home versus Winnipeg. Had a lot of success there. What did that weekend mean, kind of going forward and continuing to build that momentum?
Well, I think it was nice for us to sweep like that. It's always nice to be home. We had some decent weather. The wind wasn't really in our favor, but we made do. Had something like 67 hits or something in the 4 games. So I thought we really came together, and it was a good sign going into the end of the season in the conference tournament.
Now the end of the season is kind of we'll be going right back there to Valley. Talk a little bit about bouncing back second day, games 3 and 4, and where you see the team at going into the conference tournament.
I think day 2 is more of the team we are than the day 1. I think day 1 we just came out kind of flat, got behind a little bit, and a couple guys were struggling, and that leads to losses. But I think day 2 we started to pick it up. We're starting to come together again. Our pitchers pitched a lot better. Our defense played a lot better. So when we do that, we have a chance to beat anybody in the conference.
Now, coming into this conference tournament, you weren't around last year, but I'm sure you've heard kind of the stories of that run. You talked a little bit about, prior to this interview, about different hairstyles you're seeing. Just talk about kind of what the conference tournament means to you guys, and how they're going to rally the troops.
I think we're just excited. I mean, we get to play. Hopefully, if we keep winning, we get to play 1 game a day. We can focus all our effort into that. And, when we're hot, we're hot. So I think if we get hot in 1 game, we can take down anybody. And we don't have to worry about that second game. We don't have to worry about, hey, maybe we'll need this guy to pitch in an hour. If we can keep winning, then we can just go through those games, win 1 game a day, and hopefully get 4 more wins.
All righty. Well, best of luck this weekend. Thanks for your time.
Yep.
We're in the softball locker room now with Coach Fleury. Coach, it's been an interesting run through conference, but came out on top. Just take us through a pretty interesting winning streak, a lot of close games, a lot of extra innings played. Stumbled a couple times down the stretch, but still came out with that #1 seed in the tournament.
Yeah, early on we talked about how tough the conference was going to be, and our top 4 teams, us, Bellevue, Jamestown, and Valley, we made it all fun for an exciting run at the end. With the other 5 teams in the conference being able to beat anybody on any given day. So I think the North Star Conference has been the best it's been. Even when it was the DAC and before that, we've had 4 tough teams this year, top teams every week. It's been who's going to beat who and stuff. But early on we were able to win 2 big games against Valley City that helped us. And then kind of later on, when we went down to Jamestown, we were able to take 2 from them at home. And then with the weather on Sunday, we weren't able to play, but we did reschedule it. Kind of a weird situation. We had some rain and snow 5 days prior. Didn't think that we were going to have any chance of having the fields ready. Woke up Thursday morning and we were able to get the fields ready, so had to call them. Kids, were in class, had no idea we were playing that day, same with them, and we were able to split with them. Had opportunities to put the second game away. We went up 3-0 and kind of just sat on that, but we were able to split with them, and then had a long road trip down to Viterbo to play Waldorf in Viterbo. And first day we played, it was raining and cold, and our bats were alive. We scored 10, I think it was 10-0 the first game and 14-3 the next game, and then Sunday, totally different team out there. I think we got a little lackadaisical. We thought we were going to step on the field and do the same thing we did the day before. Credit to both Viterbo and Waldorf. They didn't let that happen.
Now that leads us to the conference tournament. Can you kind of explain that process for the fans out there, how the bracket's going to work and where and when we'll play for?
Yeah, it's this year it's kind of different than it's been in the past. It's really not a traditional double elimination bracket with 8 teams. They've kind of taken 2 brackets, an A and a B. 1, 4, 5, and 8 are on one side, and the other teams are on the other side. Whoever wins each bracket then comes together and plays the championships of those brackets. Play a best 2 out of 3 series. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be a struggle. We can potentially win the entire tournament with 2 losses. We hopefully you don't want to do that, but you get to that Sunday, Monday championship game. You start with the 0-0 record, and you got to take 2 out of 3 from the champion of the other bracket. So it's going to be a battle. It's going to be fun. We do have Bellevue on our side of the bracket. In the 4 spot, where Jamestown and Valley are on the other side at 2 and 3. So, Bellevue, they've played a tough early on schedule. We played them early in conference and we split with them. And they've played some tough teams as well. They've split with Valley City. They got swept by Jamestown. So it's going to be interesting, And like I said, any team in this tournament can beat anybody. So we just got to go in, with the new mindset. It's a new season. We got the 1 seed. I don't really know what the benefits are to get the 1 seed in this type of bracket. There's no buys involved. We play the first game at 10 o'clock on Friday. We win that, then we play at 4 o'clock on Friday. So we have a game break. So we got to take 1 game at a time. We can't get to Bellevue or we can't get to the championship day without getting past Dakota State, who we play the first game. Take it 1 game at a time. Alex Watson is pitching well for us. She's had an unbelievable season, and she's kind of been our, solid thrower on the mound for us, and she's striking people out. She's keeping teams off balance. She was NAIA Pitcher of the Week last week, and so it's exciting going into that. We know she's playing her best softball right now, so, we're going to ride her until we can't anymore.
And this is in Aberdeen?
Aberdeen, South Dakota, yep.
Alrighty, well, best of luck this weekend, Coach.
Thank you.